Hey guys, today I'll be checking out 12 bizarre traditions that only happen in Germany. Let's get into this.
There's a country in the heart of Europe where people smash porcelain for good luck,
What?
obsess over a single vegetable like it's a national treasure, and legally enforce silence during certain hours of the day. And what feels completely ordinary to locals can leave visitors wondering if they wandered into a parallel universe. Because in Germany, traditions that seem absolutely bizarre to outsiders are just part of everyday life. Most travelers arrive expecting beer halls and castles, but what they discover instead is a culture built on precision, centuries of folklore, and customs so unique they spark endless confusion online. Some of these traditions have shaped the way Germans live, work, and celebrate. Others are so specific that visitors think
Ooh.
locals are playing an elaborate joke on them. But once you understand the history and heart behind these habits, everything clicks into place. And you start to see how a nation obsessed with order created some of the most wonderfully strange traditions on Earth. And that's where things get really interesting, because the first tradition that catches outsiders off guard doesn't
What's
happen at a
up with that
festival
costume?
or a holiday. It happens the moment a German child walks through school doors for the very first time. The
Oh.
Schultüte, a giant cone of excitement. In most countries, the first day of
Oh.
school means a new backpack and maybe a few nervous photos. In Germany, it means receiving a massive decorated cone almost as tall as the child carrying it. This is the Schultüte, and it's filled with candy, school
Oh, I want
supplies,
to
small
get.
toys, and enough excitement to make the transition into education feel like a celebration rather than a chore. Parents spend weeks decorating these cones, choosing themes based on their child's interests, and filling them with carefully selected treats.
Oh, I
For
want
German
that.
families, this tradition dates back over 200 years, rooted in the idea that
That's a
something
long
sweet helps
time.
ease the anxiety of a major life change. Outsiders often see photos online and assume it's a birthday or a graduation. But no,
Yeah, never
this
heard
is
of
just
this.
how Germans start first grade. And honestly, it makes every other country's back to school tradition look a little underwhelming. But the surprises don't stop with childhood, because German wedding traditions are where things get truly chaotic. Polterabend, breaking dishes for good luck. Imagine
What?
showing up to a
Really?
pre-wedding party only to watch guests smash plates, tiles, and porcelain directly onto the ground.
That is
Welcome to Polterabend,
interesting.
a tradition where the noise of shattering ceramics is believed to ward off evil spirits and bring luck to the couple. The twist? The
That
bride
would
and
be a
groom have
lot
to
of
clean up every
plates.
single shard together. It's messy, it's loud, and it looks like absolute mayhem. But for Germans, the symbolism runs deep. Working
Huh.
together to sweep up the chaos represents how the couple will handle challenges in marriage. Some gatherings get so enthusiastic that neighbors know a wedding is coming just from the sound of destruction echoing through the street. Online, visitors joke that German weddings come with a cleanup crew built into the ceremony. But to locals,
Yeah,
Polterabend
that would
is a
be a lot to
cherished
clean up.
ritual that bonds families and friends through joyful chaos. And speaking of things that
Oh my gosh, that is really, really interesting. Like, is this really true? Because that would be a lot to clean up. And if this is true, then maybe it just happened a long time ago. People are not doing it anymore nowadays. If this is true. And also for the first one, I think that's a good one because kids love candies, so they definitely have something to look forward when they go to school. Because when I was in elementary, I hate going to school. That is interesting, and I like that tradition then.
might shock outsiders, wait until you hear about the unwritten law that governs German apartment buildings. Kehrwoche, the rotating cleaning duty. In many parts of
Oh,
Germany, especially in the south, apartment residents don't just live in a building, they help maintain it through a tradition called Kehrwoche. This rotating schedule assigns each household a week to sweep the stairs, clean the hallways, and keep shared
Oh,
spaces spotless. Miss your turn, and you might find a passive
interesting.
aggressive note, or worse, the silent judgment of your neighbors. For outsiders, the idea of scrubbing communal stairs on a fixed rotation feels almost militant. But for Germans, it's pure practicality. Everyone contributes, everyone benefits, and the building stays immaculate without needing to hire outside help. Some apartment complexes even post the schedule publicly, so there's no escaping accountability.
Oh
It's
my
a small
gosh,
tradition, but it perfectly captures the German love
that is
of order,
intense.
fairness, and shared responsibility. Yet not all German customs.
I mean, why are they doing it? Like, or this person is just making this all up? Or why don't building owners hire janitors to clean the building? Why does it have to be the residents? So it's really interesting.
Are about tidiness. Some are about silence, enforced silence, in ways that leave visitors completely baffled. Sonntagsruhe, the sacred silence of
Oh,
Sundays. In Germany, Sundays aren't just a day off, they're
oh, I've
protected by
heard this
law.
one.
Most shops close entirely, and noise regulations tighten so dramatically that mowing your lawn or drilling a hole in the
I've heard
wall
this
can
one.
actually get you in trouble with neighbors or even authorities. This is Sonntagsruhe, the tradition of Sunday rest, and it's taken very seriously. For people coming from countries where weekends mean errands and home projects, the German Sunday feels almost eerie. Streets are quieter, stores are dark, and the expectation is that
Dark.
everyone uses the day to relax, spend time with family, or simply do nothing productive at all. Online, expats share stories
Is
of
this
being
the
scolded for
European
vacuuming
Sunday?
too loudly or running a washing machine during the sacred quiet
Oh,
hours. But for Germans, this tradition is a cherished boundary between work
so
and
you
personal
can't do
life,
laundry
a weekly
too?
reminder that rest isn't optional. And if you think Sundays are strict, wait until you learn about the daily quiet
Midday quiet
hours that
hour.
govern
There
German neighborhoods.
is?
Mittagsruhe and Nachtruhe, silence by schedule. Beyond Sundays, many German towns observe Mittagsruhe, a midday quiet period, typically running from around 1 to 3 in the afternoon. During this window, loud activities are discouraged and, in some rental agreements, outright banned. Then there's Nachtruhe, the nighttime quiet period starting around 10 in the evening and
Oh,
lasting until 6 or 7 in the morning. Visitors often discover these rules the hard way, after a neighbor knocks on their door to politely but firmly explain that their music is too loud. It's not hostility, it's just how things work. Germans value their peace, and these
me
structured
too.
quiet times ensure that everyone can enjoy their home without unexpected disruptions. For new
Like, I totally get them because there's like annoying neighbors sometimes that they keep saying, like I've said in my last video. Like, I have a neighbor that sing all day and all night. That is so annoying and rude. So yeah, I want this kind of rule. They should just do this everywhere, not just in Germany.
newcomers, it feels like living inside a library with invisible referees. For
Oh,
locals, it's simply respect in action. But
yeah.
German culture isn't all about rules and silence.
White
Some
asparagus.
traditions are wonderfully weird in the most joyful ways imaginable. Spargelzeit, the national asparagus obsession. Every
Oh, they
spring,
said it's
Germany
good.
transforms into a nation utterly consumed by white asparagus. This isn't casual appreciation, it's a full blown cultural event. Restaurants create entire menus devoted to spargel. Roadside stands
Really?
pop up selling freshly harvested stalks. And for roughly 8 weeks, Germans talk about asparagus the way other countries talk about sports playoffs. The white variety, grown underground to prevent it from turning green, is prized for its delicate
Ah.
flavor. Families have their favorite farms, chefs compete for the best preparation, and the season ends abruptly on June 24th, a date locals call Spargel Sylvester or Asparagus New Year's Eve.
There
Outsiders watching this
is?
unfold online often wonder if it's
No
satire, but
way.
step into Germany during Spargelzeit, and you'll see just how seriously this vegetable is celebrated. From vegetables to celebrations, German traditions continue to surprise, and one of the most visually stunning happens every May. Maibaum, the Maypole tradition. In villages
Oh,
across Germany, the arrival of May means the raising of the Maibaum, a towering decorated pole that serves as a centerpiece for springtime festivities. Communities gather to watch the pole go up, often accompanied by traditional music, dancing, and plenty of food and drink. But here's
there's
where
a
it gets
lot of
interesting. In
traditions.
some regions, neighboring villages try to steal each other's maypoles before they're raised. This playful
Whoa.
rivalry can involve elaborate heists, negotiations, and the eventual return of the pole, usually in exchange for beer. It sounds like something out
This is
of a
really
comedy film,
interesting.
but it's a beloved tradition that strengthens community bonds and keeps old customs alive. For outsiders, watching grown adults strategize over a decorated tree trunk is bewildering. For Germans, it's just how spring begins, and the traditions only get more fascinating when the holiday season arrives. Nikolaustag,
Christmas?
shoes out for St. Nicholas.
I
On
thought
the night of
Christmas.
December 5th, German children place their shoes or boots outside their bedroom
Oh,
doors.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
By
heard this
morning, if
one.
they've been good, the
I
shoes
want
are filled
that.
with chocolates, small gifts,
Mmm.
and treats left by St. Nicholas. This tradition, separate from Christmas itself, gives kids an early taste of holiday magic and teaches them that behavior has consequences, both
I want to do
sweet and
that when I
otherwise.
have a kids.
What surprises many visitors is how seriously this day is observed. St. Nicholas often appears in person at schools, homes, and public events, dressed in traditional bishop's robes and carrying a golden book that supposedly records each child's deeds throughout the year.
Oh,
It's charming, a little intimidating for young kids, and completely unique to German-speaking
scary.
cultures. But if Nikolaustag feels festive, the tradition that sometimes accompanies
Dark
it
Christmas?
is downright terrifying. Krampus, the dark side of Christmas. In
There
parts of Bavaria and the
is?
Alpine regions, St. Nicholas doesn't travel alone. He's accompanied by Krampus, a
Oh
horned
my god,
demonic
those are
figure who
scary.
punishes naughty children with switches and chains. During Krampusnacht, people dressed in elaborate beast costumes roam the streets,
Oh,
chasing and playfully scaring
I'll
onlookers.
definitely have a
For visitors
nightmare.
stumbling upon a Krampus run without context, it looks like a horror movie escaped into real life. But
Yeah.
for locals, Krampus represents the balance between reward and consequence. A reminder that the holiday season isn't just about gifts. Online, videos of Krampus parades regularly go viral, with commenters split between fascination and genuine fear. But in Germany and Austria, this centuries-old tradition is simply part of the festive fabric. From
Huh.
terrifying folklore to heartwarming rituals, German
That is so scary. I think it's kind of similar to the Halloween in the US, but it's more scary. The Krampus. I'll definitely have a nightmare if I see those, even though they're not real, but they look really, really scary. And kids get really scared very quick, so how are they doing that?
traditions cover an incredible range. And one of the most uniquely German customs happens not during holidays, but during ordinary evenings at local pubs. Stammtisch, the reserved table. Walk into a traditional German pub and you might notice a table marked with a small sign, or simply understood by regulars to be off limits to strangers. This is the
Oh,
Stammtisch, a reserved table for a group of locals who gather regularly to socialize, debate, and share stories. It's not a formal club. It's more like an unspoken institution. For outsiders, accidentally sitting at a Stammtisch can lead to awkward moments, as regulars politely
that,
reclaim their
yeah, that would be
territory.
awkward.
But for Germans, these tables represent community, consistency, and the comfort of knowing there's always a place waiting for you among friends.
That's
It's a
nice.
tradition that turns ordinary pubs into living rooms and strangers into lifelong companions. And finally, There's a tradition so ingrained in German culture that it shapes
Secret
how people
switch.
think about time itself. Feierabend, the sacred end of the workday. In German, Feierabend literally translates to celebration evening, and it marks the moment when work ends and personal time begins. But it's more than just clocking out, it's a mindset. Once Feierabend arrives, Germans mentally close the door on professional obligations and fully embrace relaxation, family, or hobbies.
That's
Colleagues
nice.
wish each other Shonen Feierabend as they leave the office, and the boundary between work and life is respected almost religiously. For visitors from cultures where overtime is expected and emails never stop, the German commitment to Feierabend feels revolutionary. It's a daily
Wow.
reminder that life isn't meant to be all productivity. Sometimes, the best
That's
tradition
true.
is simply knowing when to stop, bringing it all together. When you step back and look at these 12 traditions, a clear picture forms. Germany isn't just a country of efficiency and engineering. It's a nation shaped by folklore, community, and a deep respect for both celebration and silence. What seems bizarre to outsiders often carries centuries of meaning, practicality
That's
woven
true.
with joy, and rules balanced by warmth. From giant cones on the first day of school to
I
demonic
want
Christmas
that.
creatures, from rotating cleaning schedules to the sacred quiet of Sundays. Every tradition tells a story about what Germans value most: order, togetherness, and
That was a really good video, and it's really, really interesting. Like, it's shocking to me how some of the traditions are really serious, like especially the marriage thing that where they break um plates and stuff. That's really interesting. And then the Krampus. I love the candy stuff and the Saint Nicholas thing. And yeah, that was a really good video. And I really like watching new videos because I can learn something new every day. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.